Hello there, and today we'll be taking a look at this awesome Fallen Order mock. But first, before I start, you might have seen one of my recent pab cups that I picked up in store, and you can also see there is something missing from this mock. So before I begin, I've got to go through this cup of bricks and pull out all of these grills and plate the diorama. So I just wanted to show you that some of these pieces that I use are found on the pad wall, and it's really handy for pieces like this that you need a ton of, to pick them up on the pad wall, and you can flush out your diorama for a lot cheaper than ordering them, even on Bricklink. And now that I have finished the base, you can see just how well these complete the mock. I'll whack up the image on screen now that I used as inspiration. This is a screenshot straight from the game Fallen Order, and I haven't played Survivor yet. I am still waiting for it to go on sale. I've seen it 30 quid. I am pushing to try and get it lower. It isn't that far from Christmas, so hopefully we see it drop even lower, be it Black Friday or in the New Year sales, and I'll be able to pick it up and run through it, perhaps even on this channel. If that's something you'd like, let me know in the comments down below. But first off, this mock, I think I've replicated that platform in the back very well. It does lead to nowhere because, well, I only had the space that I limited myself to, so there's no door or nothing up there. But you can easily switch out one of these tiles for a plate, get a trooper up there, and it'd be awesome to see something like this sold alongside the game. It's not like the throne room. These are quite simplistic dioramas, which a diorama doesn't have to be complicated. I've recently uploaded my Mandalore diorama, which took me a while, but I finally got it out to use in a video. And that was because what I was trying to do was completely illegal, the whole top of the diorama, trying to go round the glass. Yet it just didn't work. So it actually came out a lot easier than it originally was planned to be. And like you can see with this, it's a base plate. It's got a load of these grill elements to replicate the flooring. You can see even the bigger line up the middle, which is a bit thicker than the rest. I guess this one tile breaks it, but I wanted to add a little bit of snow here where this scout trooper is being pushed back by a cow, as he's also holding off this sort of commander over here. And I definitely could have added more troopers in that around, but I didn't want the mock to look too complicated, especially when the background is this simplistic. Perhaps overwhelming it with figures wouldn't make it look as cool. Though I was also able to get this snow pan down here, and you could easily remove the snow, turn this into another part of the Imperial base, and add completely new figures. You could even get one of your specialist clone troopers, colour the helmet, which personally I do not want to do, though the specialist clone helmet is perfect. If we got that in black, that'd be perfect for a purge trooper. So hopefully Lego can recolour that, make some purge trooper helmets, and give us either a diorama or some sort of set with Cal and BD. Of course, BD's already been got. That is the BD from the buildable BD one that we got quite recently, and the cow is a complete custom that I made a while ago on my channel. But as you can see, and I don't know if it's sort of tripping the camera here, but these pieces from the pad wall were the perfect piece to use here, and it also meant I had a perfect number of them. I have literally hundreds of these now, so I was able to use these at no expense, and I think the diorama turned out really cool. And you can see just some of the techniques I've used. If I flip it round, it doesn't look too pretty from the back. I guess you can get a view of what it'd be like underneath that station, but I've just clipped this piece on with a bracket and added a 1x2 plate to support it on the back, as it is only a 1x2 tile with one of these angled sloped corners to try and make it match up to this 1x8 that goes all the way up the middle. It's held on by the two hinges to give it that unique angle and fits perfectly into the Lego system. I've then also given it some extra detail on these walls here with this other modified brick. I'm not quite sure what it's called. It's the one with the straight lines on one side and the angled on the other, the horizontal opposite to the vertical. And of course the top, I've added this groove at the front to show that little grey bit that comes out in the image. Again, I'll put the image up on screen. You can see how I've tried to mimic it. Of course, I haven't got near the amount of troopers that Cal's fighting off, but having just the two enabled me to add a bit more of a story to it, the one being pushed, the one fighting it, rather than the others waiting around when they could easily just blast Cal, which of course isn't how the game works, but realistically, if there were that many troopers around him, I can't see why they couldn't. And to top off this platform, I've just plated it with these 2x4 tiles, and these corner bits are a bit more intricate. I've added a few white tiles and the angled slopes just to give it that much more detail and make it look like the snow's dripping off. I've even added a tooth to this side just to give it a frosted look on the side and the bunch of slopes in the corner, just to show that it is sort of an icy cave. It is quite cold down here, and that is what these two bricks are. This is actually on a 1x2 plate, which you can see I've just hidden underneath these clear, transparent, round 1x1 bricks, and then just covered the rest with snow to hide it quite well, but in a 1x1 tile there, and the rest of it is pretty much 2x4s except for the 2x3 here. There are also a 2x3 here hiding this 1x2 plate which houses this scout trooper, and of course one at the back just through this gap where Cal is stood. So they are all plated down. You can see I can turn it on its side and they're not moving, which is quite nice to have the minifigures down on a stud, because it means you don't have to worry about them falling over or knocking them if something were to collide with the diorama. It makes it an easier display piece. Of course, if this was to fall off a shelf or something, this back bit would come off, the figures would fly off, but at least I guess you got a sturdy base. And something like this can be sold for the cheaper price. We've seen it with the Millennium Falcon holiday diorama. I guess it doesn't follow the same base structure to most of these dioramas and the customs that I'm building, but you could have some oddly shaped oblong diorama, or perhaps even make a round one. You never know what Lego's capable of, and give us these cool figures that we'd love to see. It's not like they can't give us exclusives in these sort of sets. We've got 2 exclusive torsos in the new holiday diorama, and that's priced at about £30, which ain't far off the advent calendar. So actually that's quite a nice alternative for the advent calendar if you don't want to pick that up. And bringing up the advent calendar, that itself does come with figures that otherwise are exclusive to perhaps 1 or 2 other sets, or at least even in Palpatine's case. The torso might not be, but the legs and the head are exclusive to the throne room diorama, and the torso is actually exclusive to the advent calendar. So it'd be great to see perhaps 2 custom figures. We could get Cal and a purge trooper, or even Cal and the Inquisitor, as they've already made not only Marok for the Ahsoka show, but also we got the Inquisitor scythe with Kenobi, which gave us a few exclusive Inquisitor molds. So I'd love to see some more Inquisitors, and perhaps we could get something like this for the Order 66 scenes, as perhaps something like Plo Koon's ship exploding is not something we need in a diorama. We can get Plo Koon's ship and mock it ourselves if we want to replicate the scene. But especially for some of the other scenes, even the one we see in Fallen Order with Cal's Master, we can get in diorama form and have an Order 66 collection, which perhaps for Lego, who is a mostly kids toy company, maybe isn't the best idea, but at least have it in the 18+ line. It's something that adults will appreciate and would be really awesome to get. And speaking of something awesome to get, do let me know in the comments. In fact, I'll leave a community poll up. If you want to see more of these sets, let me know. If not, and you want to see other shows and movies, that is also fair enough, as perhaps the games don't appeal to everyone. But as you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure you'd like to see some Fallen Order sets at some point in the future. Or perhaps you just want another Luke's Landspeeder. You never know. But let me know. Head over to my community page where you'll find that, as well as all of the polls for the best set of 2023. You'll find them after October the 28th when the first poll goes live. I brought it up in one of my older videos. There will be an explanation a few days before the poll starts, so keep an eye out for that. And of course, you don't want to miss it. Otherwise, your opinion will be missed, and by the end of the year, we'll have the #1 set voted for by yous. And I'll create a video comparing it perhaps to what I think is the #1 set and how I would have voted in them polls. So stay tuned for that. Do like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more awesome Lego content, and may the bricks be with you always.